Hey everybody, TEO from Art Geek Teaching. Today is day 22 of the 100-day art challenge. And what I'm working on here today is a cut paper collage of Matisse. And so what I did first was in Photoshop, I divided the piece out so I could print it on my printer, on my small printer. In using 8.5 by 11 sheets. And so what I'm working on here is my final project is going to be 12 by 12. And so obviously I had to print it on 4 sheets instead of just 1 sheet to get the proper size. And so what I'm doing here is just I cut the pieces to where they would fit, and now I'm putting them together to where they will be a 12 by 12. So that's all you're seeing right here is, and I made a black and white copy so that I can use this actually as a template. Okay, what we're going to do here is actually go through and number the colored pieces on the color copy. So I have a color copy that I'll use for reference in terms of what my colors are going to be, and then I have a black and white copy. As you can see, that's actually the proper size. And so first thing I'm going to do is number the colors, so all the colors have the same number, and then I can match them up with colored sheets in another step down the road. Okay, what I did after marking this out, like paint by number, I went through my Gelli papers and just found some colors that I had made that are going to be close, the colors that I'm actually going to use. And then I just marked them. So for example, turn this around. This one is what I'm going to use for number 1 for the background. And I marked it number 1. Okay, this one is going to be number 2. And I put on there with a wash of white. So you can see number 2. I just need this a little bit lighter. It's not going to be a white wash, it's going to be a teal wash, but I'm going to take care of that whiter in there, make it more consistent, more light, possibly. Okay, and so on and so forth. This is number 3, number 4. This is my darkest, number 5. That'll be good for a hat band. And so I chose one color for each of the colors that I have on my little cutout pieces. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use some carbon paper, transfer paper. I used to call it carbon paper. I'm not sure what it's called these days. And I'm going to go ahead and transfer my design onto the board just so that I have some idea of where some of the pieces are going to go. So this is just a straight canvas. I didn't bring a knife over. I'm sorry, not a canvas. This is a straight cradled panel from, where is this from? Hobby Lobby, you know, cheapo, $6 thing. They have these on sale, 50% off all the time. Okay, masonite on cradle panel. It's about 1/2 inch-ish drop on it. It's already gessoed. It's got a fairly rough surface. Normally I might sand that, but I'm not going to. I think it's going to be fine for this little test project. All right, so hopefully you can see that. All I'm going to do is put this down on my paper, and you can see this paper has a dark side and a light side. You want the dark side to go down on your substrate, and it's going to transfer that dark carbon once you put pressure on it. So you could be really picky about this, really precious, and tape these in place. I'm not going to. I usually don't. I'm just going to hold it. I'm going to take a ballpoint pen. You could use a stylus for this, a ball stylus, which I don't have here, but this will work just fine. All I'm going to do, let's see, make sure I have the right color ink, any color that I can see. I'm going to go ahead and choose red ink, just so that I might know that I can see it. And again, I am not going to be super precious with this. This is just to give me an idea where everything is, because when I start cutting out pieces, it's going to be kind of a challenge to get them in the right spot. And there may be a better way to do this. This is my first one of these. Like everything, as you move along, you're going to get into it and go, wow, that was probably not the best idea. That is why we play in the studio all the time. So when I actually sit down to do a piece of fine art, I have some techniques that I've tried, and I can save time and material when it counts. All right, I don't really have to trace this entire thing. I think for me, I'm mostly looking for, well, this doesn't have that many shapes. I guess I could do the whole thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this whole thing. Don't know if I'll do all of the facial stuff. Just need some guidelines. I think what I'll do is I will start with my background. So I have colors 1 and 14, and I think what I'll do is just cut this out first and this out, get it on so that my substrate is pretty well there. I'll make them a little bit wider all the way around so that I don't have to worry about butting pieces up, and there'll be a little overlap if I have enough material. So first thing is I will cut this out. Made a wrong cut already. That's okay. guess this is all. I'm going to cut this piece out over here. I'm going to let that in. Okay, this is 14, and we'll cut this guy out. I don't know how I'm going to do that top yet, so I'm going to come back. I think I'm going to leave that like that. Okay, and we're going to tape that little piece. I don't know if you can see it. We're just going to tape that in there. Okay, we have our first two pieces, 14 and 1. And then we have the outline. Let's just see how close this dude's gonna be. Oh yeah, we'll be fine. We're going to end up cutting all these pieces apart, right? I will go ahead and number this like I have these so that I can get all the pieces cut. But I'm going to do that after I get these, my number 1 and my number 14 down on the page. First, my number 1 color. Rather than cut from this, I'm going to make a template and then I'm going to enlarge the space, right? So I guess I could do that right now. I'm not drawing directly on. I'm just going to give it a little bit more room so that overlap is not a problem. Okay, now here on the glasses, you'll see that here's my background, this negative space out here. If I would have just gone on in and came down, that would have been better for the background. But I didn't want to cut through my glasses part, so I'm going to just add that in right now. So here's my glasses. They would come up like this. I'm guessing it's going to be in here somewhere. And I'm just going to come straight over and then hook up with this down here. Okay, again, this is my positive shape of my guy, of Matisse. This is the negative shape. And that's the background that I'm actually going to be using, so I'm making it a little bit wider. And I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm going to just connect all of this. So this could just connect like that. Okay? Easy pie. We'll cut that out. And you can see, maybe at the bottom here, it's going to be a little short, right? So that means I'm going to have a cut in here and I'll use another piece of this. So that'll be fine. We'll just do it at the bottom probably. So let's cut this guy out. That aside, this is the piece we're using. Yeah, perfect. We want to go leave a little bit for the edges. We've got that, although I like this piece right here. I'm going to cut these edges off so I know exactly where to put it. this is going to be just fine. We're going to trim those off at the end. Okay. He's good. All right, so that one, I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, trim this off. And we'll make a little piece for the bottom of it. And I think I want that little piece at the bottom to go on first. So it's going to be something like that. Okay, I went ahead and cut out the purple part, which I think was number 14, but anyway, the other side of the background, and most of it I did off camera, but I'm cutting the one little bottom piece right here, and then we'll go ahead and glue everything up. Okay, we're ready to glue. So I'm going to go get some matte medium and we'll glue these down. Okay, this is probably going to get messy, so take my cutting mat out of there. Just going to use matte medium, gel medium, I should say. Let's see, I'm going to put this little one on first. I remember that. I'm going to end up, I need a little piece of that. I didn't turn it up. I need a little piece because I cut this short. I want this further in, and if I do that, I'm going to have that covered. So let me fix that. Okay, next up what we're going to do is glue down the other side, and I'm just using some gel medium here. I put it on my cradle panel and then go ahead and put it on the back of my paper as well, so I have glue to glue, and you can see that that carbon paper works really well. That image does not smear. It does just a little bit, but not very much, and so it pretty well stays in place. Now if I get in there and scrub on it, it would probably smear, but you could put a light coat on it, no problem. But I'm just gonna go ahead and coat both sides, or coat the substrate and my paper, and then glue this on. Okay, next up is I'm going to address my number 2 blue color. And if you remember in the beginning, that was a little bit dark for me, and so I'm going to lighten it up by just mixing a really light wash and putting it on. It's going to be a lighter color, and then I'll just use quite a bit of water, which again is risky. This is just paper, but I think I can get it done if I go quickly. Put it on, wipe it off, and it'll just fill in the white spots on there with a lighter blue and get me closer to what I'm looking for color. All right, I think that's going to be the end of part 1 here. Video's getting kind of long, so we will end part 1 and move on to part 2 on the next day. Have a great night.